think I tried that the first.
That's how he did it last time.
I just said, do not think I just tried
No,
that.
obviously I tried that first and nothing happened.
sorry.
So I'm trying to
I
I
saw
was
you
like,
not
okay,
trying
let me
that.
try it.
See
Yeah,
that?
go on.
You're going to expose me like that. I'm fully on a press, and you're going to go like, raw. You know what you did, yeah?
Honestly, alright, say no more.
Rage. So, are you happy?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
happy, sir? Happy? You happy, sir?
Happy, good to go.
That's it. Cool.
Give me a little clap. Actually, you don't have to.
I can
It's
just
easier
give
for
a
my
vote.
way.
Winning. He's got me. Is that it? I'm good to go. Yes, people, it's Tea Talk on Tottenham. It's me, Original Heartman. It's you, Ricky Norwood. We are here, and it's episode 1. That's what we're calling this one. Episode 1. Firstly, thank you to everybody who has watched our pilot episode with all the bumps and all. God bless you for partaking. God bless you for liking, subscribing, doing all the good things. We appreciate you. We do. We appreciate you. And your comments. So listen, we're back. We're here again. And we're going to continue to be here. Yeah.
Absolutely, my friend.
We're here for the season. We're here for the long haul. The highs, the lows, the bumps, and all. So before we get into it,
Yes, brother.
let's do it.
Let's go.
Tea Talk on Tottenham, episode 1. Let's have it.
Oh, so on today's show, we are going to be covering the Super Cup. We're going to be covering Burnley. We are going to be covering Frank's systems. We're going to be covering Sonny, New Deals, and Man City. So
Alright.
there's only one place to start, Mr. Hart.
Yeah, let's start with the Super League.
Super Cup.
Super
right?
Cup. Wow, when I say
Super Cup.
Super League, I want that league back. I want that money. But yeah. Super Cup.
Super Cup. So
All right, hit me.
first competitive game in Frank's reign.
Yeah.
We was underdogs. There was everybody that I spoke to that day was like, we're going to be losing 3-4-0, 5-0 at the most.
100%.
When you was watching it, how did you feel? What did you think? What was your takeaways?
I was proud, and I'm not going to be deluded. PSG had only done a week of training, if that. They were nowhere near up to the speed that we were up. But what I saw was an idea, a vision, a tactic, a system. I saw players look hungry. I saw players that understood what the manager required from them and delivered it. I saw a team for 75 minutes outplay arguably the best team in the world right now.
Yeah.
And we outplayed them. We had a system that maybe we stole it from Chelsea. I know people highlighted that Chelsea did pretty similar in terms of the press. But what I was impressed by was the fact that we looked like a team that had improved. From what Ange had given us, I saw improvement. I saw growth. And it excited me about the prospect of our season. What do you think?
You know what? Going into it, I think it was very interesting going into it because obviously every game before that was a pre-season game. You know, the early pre-season games, we had different teams for different each half. There was a day that we had 2 games in the same day, right? So they were pre-season games to get you up to speed, so to speak. So going into Bayern, which was a couple of days before, and setting up against them, didn't really have much creativity. We lost, obviously, 4-0 badly. And even then, there was questions, and I was kind of like, is Frank the man with the plan? But then he didn't change much within that game, and I was kind of like, okay, all right. Well, technically, it's still a pre-season. Let's see what happens in that first competitive game. And mate, I was blown away, if I'm honest. I really did not expect that. When I saw the formation, the 5-3-2, I was like, it felt like we was going to be sat in a very low block, and we was going to be conceding possession and conceding all of their attacks, trying to absolve them and then hit them on the counter. I did not see that. I saw us go at it with pace, power, like you say, hunger, but like there was aggression. The technical fouls in there, the little shoves in there, that's what I was really enjoying. The way that they moved around as a unit. You know, you look at someone like Jed Spence and Pedro Porro, who nullified Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, who world class on the Ballon d'Or list. You know, not only tons of assists but goals as well. We nullified them. We frustrated them. Kvaratskhelia, who I can never say.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, him. Well done, Darren. But I can never say I can never say his name. But frustrated him.
Well, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, that one. Frustrated him. He went off upset.
Sorry. Yeah.
Due in the midfield. He was in midfield, not on the wing, but we frustrated him. These guys went off upset. And for 70, 80 odd minutes until we made those subs, You know, we were the stronger team, we were the better team, we were the more in control. We was the one that, with our aggression, with Kudus up there, with Richarlison up there, you know, with Papsar in the midfield, all of these people that were aggressive and caused them problems left, right, and centre. I saw the culmination of Frank's tactics come together for a competitive game for the first time, and I was excited by it. You know, what did you feel about like the free kicks and the throw-ons and these things that we haven't really seen at Tottenham?
There were a lot of new things. 100% agree. There was a lot of new things. The long throw that Danzo had that no one knew we had in our kickback, and that was great to see. And the fact that we went long at times, we've not done that in a while. It was ticky-tacky, that type. But at times, Frank was like, go long. Let's go long. Let's really put them under pressure. Bullying teams, making teams feel under pressure. I think it was interesting you mentioned about substitutions, and as we both mentioned, there was a time period in the game where we had PSG and then we lost them. And I think there's some interesting things to assess from that. And I know we spoke about, or you just mentioned there, and a lot of fans spoke about the substitutions being a problem, and like you highlighted from the Bayern Munich game, like not the changes that you may have wanted, or you didn't do changes. You're kind of trying to go, what do you do when it's not working? Yeah. And we was in a situation where it was working, and he changed the system, not just personnel. And I think some people didn't really take on board that. And I think what happened with the substitutions is we blamed the individuals or an individual rather than looking at everything that added to that. When our subs came on, all three, if we look at Solanke, Tell, Gray.
Bergvall came on as well.
Bergvall, sorry. Yeah.
As well,
sorry, there was the extra one. When they came on, by this point in the game, we had all dropped deep. Everybody has shifted back. The press at the top had disappeared.
Yeah.
No one was doing that.
Yeah, we wasn't, and the aggression had dropped off.
It was halfway line. We pick them up there, we start there. Before that, PSG couldn't breathe. They couldn't play. Then we gave them time to play. And I think that's a big learning curve for Frank. If you've got a system that's working and you change it and it falls apart, he's got to learn from that. Because if he had started with a system, it may have been a different outcome. I understand tied legs, early pre-season, first game, that Fisher was a curtain raiser. We're not there yet. But there's lessons learned. Because when you change the system, we couldn't handle them. We gave them too much time on the ball. You give world-class players that kind of time, they're going to make a chance. And it was a worldie first and then a nice well-worked move because they're world-class players. And I think that hopefully was a massive learning curve for Frank to go, maybe they're not ready for that yet, and maybe I'm not ready to do that yet. If my system's working, why change it? Because as a fan base, we looked at our personnel, and I know a lot of people were at Tell for penalty misses and his performance, and as we highlighted in our pilot, like we have our differences in him and we're concerned about him, but as a Spurs fan, I just want to look after him. Because right now he wears our badge. And he's part of our team.
And he's fighting for us.
And he wants
to win for us.
100%, he's family, and you look after family.
Straight up.
Yes, you tell family off. Yes, you have a word with them and go, don't like that, not happy with that. But we don't disown them. We don't disregard them. We don't rubbish them. And I feel that this season is going to be really important for that. Because you said about 5-3-2. I saw it as 3-5-2.
Right.
Like, I saw it as it was more the midfield was going to work and it was busy. And I think it's all about interpretation and how you view stuff and how you see it. And I think this season we are going to be challenged by Frank because as we get to Burnley, it's a completely different setup.
Yeah.
It's a completely different team. And the game's completely different. And he is a tactician. He is someone who adapts to each opposition, each challenge faced. And he's going to get it wrong at times. He's absolutely going to get it wrong. And how we treat him and how we treat our players in that is going to be so important going forward for us. I really think this is a learning season for us in terms of managing our emotions and managing this team. Because we need to look after it.
Straight up. I mean, when it comes down to those substitutions though, I think we just saw the difference in high potential and like the quality. I think that's where Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, they got more of the ball then. You know, Bergvall couldn't really get close when he came on. He was the first one on, and then you said Solanke.
And then Gray
so Solanke couldn't really hold the ball up, or we couldn't get the ball up to him to even hold the ball
we
up.
sat the halfway line.
And so we did concede all of that.
We gave them the ball in their half.
Yeah. And then Tell came on at the last 10 minutes. He didn't come on at the same time. So
No.
he had 10 minutes. And the way I described it, I was on Chris Callan, the Spurs Chat podcast, after the game. And the way that I described it, bro, was that he was cold. You know, like, yes, all right, he might have done a few warm-up jogs on the side, but it just looked like he was cold. He ran about on the pitch. We couldn't get the ball to him. First thing he done was, like, bundle over a player because he wanted to get the ball back and concede a free kick. And then, you know, then he had a dribble where he could have passed, and then there was a break on us. So he didn't really get in the game, and then even then he was under pressure. So for him to even, once we got to penalties, and let's just look at it, like we was that close to glory again, close to lifting that trophy, and 100% it should have been us, right? That's how I feel about it. 100%.
Look, even their manager said the same thing, and we couldn't hide that.
So they take it to 2-2 and they take it to penalties. You know, penalties is a lottery. We already saw that Eze missed a penalty, Salah missed a penalty.
Everyone missed a penalty.
So for him to stand up in that pressure cooker, and we could see all of our players wanted to win that game. Like, we all wanted to win that game. We went out to win that game. We was disappointed that we took it to penalties and that we didn't deal with it in the 90. And, you know, so for him to step up in that, and obviously he missed the penalty, to get on his back like that makes no sense.
Makes no sense. And it'd be different if the only person who missed.
Well, this is it.
You know what I mean?
He come back to Van der Ven, and yes, all right, he had a dynamite game, but he missed a penalty as well.
And it's funny you mentioned about him coming on cold. He also came on with a new system. And also, look at what we had to start with. You had two players in, Kudus and Richarlison, who love a fight, love a battle, love to be hit, broad shoulders, like the ball, want to fight a man, muscle a man off. Tell's not built like that. So when he comes on, he's a very different entity, and I think sometimes systems don't work for players, and maybe that's what I mean about Frank learning. Going, when I did that, I didn't enable Tell to play what I wanted him to play. It didn't work for him. I failed him.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have brought on someone else. Maybe I should have gone, all right, let me bring on Johnson and go, all right, we're going to go long. I'm going to tell to Johnson that anytime you get it, you still press the last man because you're going to run at him. With that speed, with that energy, run at him. Maybe you could have asked Tell to do that, but the system changed. And I think it was a hard pill for all of us to swallow because we were so close. We were so close. And it gave us, for me, it gave us optimism, and it gave me a little glimpse of what this season could be. And it could be one that could hold a lot of promise.
Yes,
it could hold a lot of promise.
That's what I was quoting. So then 3 days later, we go into the first game of the season versus Burnley with a different system now.
Different system.
4-3-3, I think.
Yep, different personnel in the middle.
Different personnel. We had two young ones starting, Archie Gray and Bergvall.
You know what? I love what you said there, and I knew you were going to say two young ones. How old Star?
Oh, Star's 22, I think. Yeah, he's another young one, but you don't.
Yeah, because of his maturity on the pitch. I think also as well we forget how young they are.
Yeah.
And 22 is still young because we're not 22 by the way. Yeah, we're grown. You know what I mean?
24.
Oh, you're 24. See, alright, cool. Anyway, so with that in mind, you look at them and you go, they're still young. And that midfield, Frank trusted them. There was no Bentancur, Paulinho. Like obviously, Bassoon was a whole other issue. You know what I mean? It was none of those guys in there. He's gone for Archie Gray, Bergvall, Sarted. That's my three. I know fans were concerned.
Yeah.
I know fans were concerned, especially after the way people spoke about Archie Gray. I heard people mention like he wasn't a good player anymore. Like he can't play six. It's like we jump so quick to the negative, and then we eat humble pie if you do that because he was tremendous. He was tremendous. All three of them were absolutely tremendous in that game.
So tell me what you felt about his game in that stood out to you that makes you say that people are missing down.
For me, it's watching someone understand their role and delivering. You had a three-man midfield and Archie Gray sat at the 6. He said, I'm staying here. His distribution of the ball was always consistently smart. And I say consistently smart. Short is smart. Rather than always going along, his ball retention, amazing. Bergvall did exactly the same. His transition between the lines. We speak about what a 6 and an 8 does. Bergvall very much understands what an 8 does. That transition through the midfield. Sometimes he'll run it through, sometimes he'll pass it long. He's got that understanding of the game. It's really, it's impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Someone so young have that, and also have that camaraderie with someone else so young. Him and Gray being able to work that midfield together with Pap Sarr going, I'm here doing so much legwork. Pap Sarr does not stop running. He chases everybody down, he wins it, he gives it, he's available for the pass. He's a workhorse. And sometimes it's hard to not see that. Let me rephrase that. It's easy to not see that.
Easy
that
to miss.
hard work is so easy to miss because it doesn't always look pretty. We spoke about how amazing Kudus was in that game, how amazing Richarlison's goals were. But that came because they were free to play because of what the midfield did. And that, having your defence behind you going, we trust you, we can play it short to you guys because we believe in you. And Frank really, for me, did something that I think as a coach, because I'm always going to refer to Frank as a coach rather than a manager for me, because I think he's a tremendous coach. As a coach, he said, I believe in you, I believe in the system, and you can execute it. And when they did, massive hat off to the guy. Pat on everyone's shoulders because as a free, they were superb.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lesson there with Pap Sarr because again, like he was phenomenal. I felt forward and back. I thought he was fantastic. And I think that this is going to be his breakout year as well, where he cements himself in the midfield.
Okay.
He's had a really strong pre-season, and then he's taken it into the season. Super Cup, he was dynamite as well, and he's taken it into the season, right? But again, you mentioned that at 22 he's still young. And then when you look at Archie Gray and Bergvall, who are like, what, 18, 19, whatever they are right now, you know, they had a firestorm of a season to get through last year, which is going to set them in the right stead in that sense. You know, so someone like Frank can go, no, I've seen that you can be trusted when needed, go and do the damn thing. But at the same time, they're only 18. So Pap Sarr's had a journey, right? You know, we bought him, I can't remember, was it Mets? I think it might have been Mets. And he kept him out.
If we're wrong, forgive us.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Someone will.
Somebody will. And it's my fault, I'll take it. But he had an extra season out there on loan. And then when we brought him in, we strung him in. You know what I mean? Little bit by little bit, we played him here and there, here and there. I saw a stat the other day where I think he was the player that played the most for us last season, Pap Sarr. So I think it was like 52 games. I did not realise that. And again, if we're wrong, if I'm wrong, let me know. But it just shows you that he's had a journey. He's been drip fed through, and as he's maturing and filling out and becoming stronger and knowing what this league and what this team's about, you can see a real player emerging.
100%.
The same with Archie Gray and Bergvall. You can't write them off right now. They're going to have dip seasons. Seasons. I'm not talking about games. They're going to have a season where, you know, you go back to Gareth Bale and there's certain players where they have a string of performances where they're just not up to it, or they just look like they've lost it a little bit. But that is all part of that learning curve.
100% part of learning curve. And I think you said learning curve. Think about Archie Gray last season. He never played six. He played everywhere bar six. Right back, left back, centre back. He played everywhere. And I think what Frank also said about him, which I really appreciate, is he's great that he can play so many places, but I want to play him in the six. And that for a player must be like, thank you for seeing how flexible and adaptable I am, but also seeing where I want to be. And I think with Paulinho being ball, it's not a negative. It's an absolute positive for Archie Gray. It's somebody else because, like, I know we all will differ when it comes to players that we buy. When a player puts on our shirt, we all have our differences of opinion. For me, when you have a player like Paulinho, who is a destroyer of other teams, he breaks down play, he wins the ball always, he loves to tackle. He may not be the most technically gifted, but that's not what I believe his job is.
No, it's not.
His job is what I call a traditional true six that breaks down play and gives it to my eight.
But I think fundamentally, he's a specialist. We buy so many adaptable players that can play centre midfield, CDM, like an Archie Gray. All of these players that can play so many different. Every time we buy an attacker, they can play across the front three. But he's a specialist, and somebody that a job that we've needed fulfilling for a while since Højbjerg left. You know,
and that's what people have been screaming out for in the transfer window. And now we have him. Let's celebrate him, but let's not celebrate him in a way that means we have to rubbish others
Yeah.
We don't have to dismiss Archie Gray and go, he's not good enough, so we have to get Paddy.
Perfect teacher as well.
Perfect teacher. To learn that part, because what I love about Archie Gray is he could be the combination of both in that position.
Yes, I agree.
Because he's so comfortable on the ball, he loves to dribble, he's got a trick in him. I still remember him busting the correct turn in our box and leaving a man for dead. Yeah. And I was like, Archie, that's in our own box, but that confidence is great. But you can do that in the middle of the park. And trust that he's got back up behind him. And I think it was such a great moment for me watching Tottenham first game of the season to go, this team is one that has many different styles of play, many different systems, but the players are getting it.
Yeah.
Kudus was phenomenal. Like we can't even glaze over how great he was. But in doing that, let's also respect what Brennan Johnson did on the other side. A man who last season scored more goals than anyone else for 18.
Yeah.
And is moved from his favoured position to go on the other side. And we spoke about playing just behind the striker, would we do that? I spoke about potentially putting him on the left. The fact that he had a game where for most of it he weren't getting the ball.
Yeah. Making the runs,
we're getting the ball. A lot of it was give it to Kudus, him and Richie, great relationship, friendship, chemistry. But then when the time came for Brennan to step up, he puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
That's like, you can't teach a man to score goals. You can't. It's instinctual. And Brennan instinctively has that. He just, he's one of them players that will split everyone's opinion. Because I'm saying that I love how he scores goals, but he doesn't do as much as you want on the pitch.
Right.
And you watch what Jess Spence was doing there. He did a lot of work on that side by himself. I'm not going to say that anyone played bad in that game because everyone could have been man of the match. And I think with Johnson, we have to sometimes go that maybe the Johnson will get some games. And if Kudus is doing what he's doing, if Richie's doing what he's doing, I'm happy with Brennan to be asleep or to be non-existent for a long period of the game and come up and score a goal at the end.
I think it's going that way. But I think what was really good for me to see, now, Richarlison is somebody that I've always kind of questioned since we signed him. But again, like you say, as soon as they're wearing a shirt, I'll always back you. And he's gone through it, mental health, he's gone through the injuries. We know a lot about his story, and it's a tough story. And if you go through that in life and you can keep pushing, it shows character, right? But I just never got where he fit in the Tottenham side. I wasn't really convinced on the left. I wasn't really convinced up front. The majority of the time that he's one-on-one on goal down, my soul tells me he's not going to score, right? Before this moment. I saw him against the Super Cup and I was just like, wow, it's the first time that I didn't want him to be subbed off the field on 60. First time. Yeah. I wasn't like, I'm like, keep him on. Do you know what I mean? Because his height, his strength, all of the things, his touches, all of the things were just troubling PSG. And the same that was happening against Burnley. For the first time in our predictions, I was like, yeah, Richarlison's going to score.
Hold on, let's not even get in a prediction. Let's not even glaze over that.
I don't want to.
So I'll give you flowers. I will give you your flowers. Yeah, and I'll even put him right closer. Yeah, I'll give him his flowers. Yeah. So Ricky and myself did a little prediction. Those of you that follow us on our socials, T Talking Tottenham on Insta, TT Tottenham on X. Now, Ricky and I did predictions for the game. I think I went 2-0, and Ricky said 3-0, and said Richarlison would score. So, I'll give him his flowers. It was bang on. He was absolutely bang on. And I knew it was hard for him to say Richie because, as you said there, really eloquently, you've not been his biggest supporter and questioned him within Tottenham. And I think Richie's such a challenging player for me because he falls into that category of player that when they don't play for you, you don't rate them. Then when they play for you, you rate them because of their passion. Right. Because there's someone who will give it for the shirt. They may not always get the goals or get the accolade, but they play for the shirt. But Richie's been so inconsistent in terms of injury. It's been so hard to judge him. And I think someone raised stats about Richie that in his starts, 11 starts or 10 starts, he had 9 goals and stuff. The goal to game ratio was pretty high. And I think because he's so passionate, and he's a talent, he's a Brazilian, he's a Brazilian forward. Let's not forget that he was Brazil's number 9. But there's really ism and schism around it, but he was Brazil's number 9. I think the thing that always frustrates me about Richarlison is with his passion, with his energy for the club, he doesn't channel it all in the right way. Last season he had his mental health issues, and there's a part of me, I know he's high on our sell list right now, and I totally understand it, but there's a tiny part of me that I can't help but go, is this the season that Richarlison goes, here's the gift, Spurs fans, here's what you've been asking for. I'm going to be fit because there's a World Cup coming at the end, and I'm going to be so passionate about this, and I'm going to give it my all, and Frank's going to be able to rotate him and Solanke and manage his game time. Like when he got subbed off at Burnley, he didn't want to get off the pitch.
He did not.
But you saw Frank was like, I've got to look after you.
Yeah.
I know you're fragile. I've got to look after you because you hit your purple patch, you're on fire. It's like playing the old NBA Jam. Every shot is on fire.
Yeah.
He's burning the net. Let's keep you burning, but let's save you. I don't want to burn you out.
Yeah.
And
I
I
think
think
we can't risk that
we
either.
can't risk it, especially with Dom not 100% either.
Yeah.
And I think it's so hard because my head says he should be one that goes because he's never fully fit. We're going to lose him, and when he's not fit, he's not good. Like 100% fit Richarlison, great. 60-70% Richarlison, really bad.
Yeah.
80% is a player. And I think if we could keep him fit, I would keep him as a second option if there's nobody else available.
Well, it changed my mind.
Wow.
It
Wow.
changed.
That's
I
big.
mean,
That's big.
I can't say I'm totally on the other side, but it did definitely.
The fact that you've been thinking about it is a big change.
Do you know, with all of the things, strength, you know, the turns and the way that he used his body and all of the wind up things.
And two great goals.
And two great goals, right? Regardless of that, and I know this might sound silly, but you've heard me say this before. It was the way that he ran. Okay, he ran in rhythm with pace, with you know, like he ran like
The
his
darts are
hamstrings.
coming out. The darts
It's that, bro. I can't. But he ran like he was
totally
going to
get
score.
what you're saying. I totally was saying. The rhythm was there. Everything was in rhythm.
The bounce, he had the bounce in his legs, man, and I haven't seen it.
He looked the part.
And maybe this is him fit. Do you know what I mean? Maybe this is the first time that I've actually seen him fit.
It may be up there as well.
And maybe even with Frank's tactics, because the one thing that I saw with Frank as well in that game is that he was working to the players' strengths.
Yeah.
You know, so Kudus is a guy that try and get the ball off of him. He uses his back and his bottom as an extra defender, bruv. Like you can't get the ball off of him, and he loves a fight and he loves that aggression. And there's something JJ Okocha about him, like his improvisation,
The touch.
the touch, bruv, the touch.
Yeah.
The touch was sexy.
Yeah.
And then like you know both crosses for that led to goals.
Yeah.
The second one where he just touched it random, left him for dead, and then just chipped it in. I was just like, oh my goodness, you know. So it, like you're saying there about Johnson as well, it allows us to have almost like a ghost at the back stick, somebody that the opposition almost forget about, and then can ghost in and
nick one.
And nick one there.
Absolutely.
But again, like Pap Sarr, bro. Pap Sarr who put that ball through for Johnson.
Yeah.
Again, phenomenal, mate.
Yeah,
I really think it's going to be his breakout season here.
And I think you highlighted something there that is, I think, good to move on to is Frank's system.
Yeah.
And what did you make of the contrast between Super League to Burnley?
The Super Cup, you
It's-
really
I've
want
got-
that Super
I've got-
League,
bruv,
bro. You
bruv,
want that Super
bruv.
League so bad.
Bro, I'm gonna start putting
Listen,
pounds in pots.
Listen, if we get, even if the Super League comes, bruv, we're not getting that 200-300 million, and it's not buying on any new players. We already know it.
I know they're looking for Sainsbury's.
There we go, bro. Do me a favour. Yes, the Super Cup. Go on,
Super
go
Cup.
back. What are you
Super
saying?
Cup.
Systems. Go
Yes,
on, Frank system.
the contrast between the system in the Super Cup, the system at Burnley, the change of personnel, like, what did you feel? How was your mind adjusting to this? And yeah, positive, negative. What are you thinking?
So there's a couple of things that hit me with this. I didn't see what Frank was bringing to the table until that Super Cup, right? I
Super
think,
Cup?
Yes, and I think that he was hiding it almost. You know, I think he was working on the competitive shape and his first 11 to go against PSG. And I think he was almost hiding it, trying out different things. And I don't think, you know, you look at Bayern the game before and you think, oh, you're going to try something that you're going to try against PSG, but he did not do that. And maybe he didn't do it for a reason. So going in there, PSG didn't know what to expect, and they didn't.
Potentially.
We were the better team, against potentially, like you just said there, the best team in the world right now. You know, 9 of their starting 11 are on the Ballon d'Or list.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I can't believe the others aren't either. It's a bit disrespectful, anyway.
But you know, they're more than likely £100 million players at least, all, you know, throughout the side.
Yeah.
They are dynamite. They are. They have got technical ability upon, but we gave them so much trouble that they didn't know what to do. That they started throwing their toys out the pram, and I was like, that's what I was really impressed with, right? Like I said, with the first, when I saw the system and I saw it as a 5-3-2, I was like, we're gonna be sat in here. We wasn't that. We used that system to our benefit, using Danzo as an extra. And bro, I want to know your opinion on Danzo in a minute, but using Danzo as that third centre back and having him ping about left, right, centre, having him be a bit of a bruiser as well. I was like, we're really, like, it was all about that strength, the height, the physicality. We used our strengths, and then to take that, for them not to drop their head as well, but to take that into a game like Burnley, where we're the favourites, right? So we go to a back 4, which is, I'm like, okay, cool, because I didn't want to see a back 3 or a back 5 consistently. Yeah. I've been burnt by that system before. It's times it's worked, but I've been burnt by it before. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're on the attack, and we did. Not only did we attack, but we controlled in that game, and we gave them so much to worry about, which excites me. And if this is the Tottenham that we're about to see, and we as fans won't be able to predict not only the lineup but the starting formation. You know, what are other teams gonna do? If last year we were quote unquote predictable, well, this year I think we're the most unpredictable side out there, and which could really be another 1% in Thomas Frank's book to push us to wins and glory again.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I do agree. I feel that we are going to be a difficult side to plan against, because right now we haven't dictated or settled on a style of play that everyone goes, oh, that's what Tottenham do. And
yes, you can't define us.
You can't define us right now, and that's hard for other managers. They'll have plan A, plan B, and I like that. I like that people have to think. Last year, that became the rope that was kind of hanging over us, ready to strangle us. Was Tottenham are too easy to play against? We know what they're going to do, the high line, etc., etc. We're our own worst enemies. We can go on, and I think Frank's system and different styles. One thing that impressed me, you wanted me to kind of look at Danzo, looking at our defence. Van der Ven in that season, last season, was highlighted as an amazing defender because of how great he could recover, how fast he was, how much ground he covered. That last minute tackle, he was amazing at. What we're now hopefully going to see is he's a very, very, very good defender. Like Romero is a very, very good defender, holding line, shape, and that hamstring can be looked after. He's not going to be having to make the runs he was making before. Now, I always say defending, it's an intelligent art. You're thinking ahead, you're getting yourself in the right positions. The system we had last season meant that he always had to, on the half turn, to go. His hamstring's always ready to pop. Now, they're closer, the unit's stronger, the system is more aggressive and bullish, you're winning the ball earlier, the press is different. It's going to allow Romero, Van der Ven, Danzo to show other qualities of themselves as defenders. Marking, positional sense, high lines, as in not high lines, but catching the guys offside. Just going, right, we step out now, and they do it as a unit, and make games look easier. And that's what it looked against Burnley. They looked in control all the time. There was never a moment in the game where I looked at them and went, yeah, the back four don't know what they're doing. Yes, don't get it twisted. They had moments where Burnley did break through. It wasn't an easy game. But as we learn in football, the offside rule is ridiculous, and they still make you run until they get the ball, and then they put the flag up. So some people go, oh, they broke the lines loads of times. They didn't. They were offside, a lot of them. And they're finding this new way of working at the back that's impressive, and hopefully that will help Van der Ven throughout the season. Danzo, for me, is a great addition and can be used in many different ways because he's an aggressive defender. I think you highlighted him as a kind of Michael Dawson-esque. I don't know if we said it here or privately. And I think it's a great player to kind of hold him in comparison with, because he plays with so much passion for the club. He plays with so much passion for the game. And he's not afraid to do it ugly. He's not afraid of not looking pretty when he wins the ball. And with Romero, who does things with so much class in terms of looking so good when he does it, not in a classy way. Sometimes it's bullish, it's rough house, but when he wins it, like, look at me, and we'll go, he's amazing. Denzo may rough up a guy in the same way, but it's like, I want the ball for Tottenham, I want to win it. And the long throw gave us a whole different angle to our game, but he's another player that I look at and go, with Frank's coaching and guidance, he really could develop into a player here. And having that option to go to a free, but also having someone who could step in and replace either or, if necessary, maybe what we need. And I'm just like, again, full of optimism. It's a good place to be. One game in, 2 competitive games, but 1 game in at the point of recording. Like, that's where we're at, and that's what I'm assessing. And there's a lot of optimism in that. And Frank has provided that, and the players are very much showing that they're listening and following this lead. So yeah, good.
Yeah, do you know what? And talking about how hungry those players looked, again with the different systems and stuff, bro. In the Super Cup, there were drinks breaks, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was like every 20 minutes, every 25 minutes. And when all the boys gathered around, Frank was there with his tactics board, right? And what I found that was really impressive, I was looking at the boys, and all of their faces, their eyes and their focus was on that board, and they were hungry for what the next instruction was, or what the next plan was. Not one of them were like looking at the stand or being like, yeah, boss, yeah, whatever, whatever you tell me, I'll run down the left and I'll put, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't, they were all hungry, bro, and they were all focused, and they were all ready to do what needed to be to be done to do the job, you know? So that excited me as well. It looks like they are enjoying not being predictable and switching up a system, because it could go both ways now. You know, you've had time in football, man, and maybe switching from a back 4 to a back 5, or 3 in midfield to 2 midfield and stuff, it could mess you up.
Oh yeah,
it could go the other way as well.
Absolutely.
But it hasn't so far.
So far, so good. Again, we're still very new. We're still in conception. I think one thing that you highlighted there, which will be very telling as our season progresses, you'll see when the players check out of Frank.
Okay.
And it will become in those moments.
Yeah.
When the ball's out and you see the players who are not interested. And I think it's a nice way of us segueing, because I remember you messaging me and talking about Sonny when he was in pre-season.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling like, before the announcement was made, like he wasn't there.
Yeah, you know, like I was saying it, you know, obviously there was speculation that he was going to go, and then there was I saw an announcement that he was going to stay, and I was on board. You know, I love Sonny to bits, but there were a couple of moments that, you know, his body language in the black shirt photo shoot, he just wasn't himself. And then out in training in pre-season, I can't remember what game it was. It wasn't Newcastle. It was like one of the first games that he played in. I can't remember right now, but basically he was tying his shoes while Frank was actually doing the tactics, and he, you know, he didn't really look up, and that ain't Sonny. You know, he didn't give him eye contact. Even doing his shoes while somebody's speaking, reading shoe, for somebody like Sonny, that would be rude in a sense. But what I then, you know, ultimately found out is that he was just heartbroken. He was just heartbroken. He couldn't listen, you know, he couldn't partake and give 100% and be in the moment as much as he could do, because he knew that he was leaving and wearing a shirt for the last times and stuff like that. You know, I just think he was heartbroken, you know. And what a servant. Like, what a servant.
We dedicated the era to him.
Yeah, we've got to give him these flowers today.
Today, Ricky was like, we've got to do it. We've got to make sure he gets his flowers.
Yeah, you know, we started the season without him. And even though we were playing Burnley, there was a player called Son, which was doing my nutting.
And Hartman, what's going on there?
Hartman at left back, bro. I never thought I'd see you wear claret and blue, you know, bro.
Listen.
Like, I never thought, is it your cousin? Is it a relation? The people want to know, is Hartman at Burnley something to do with you?
Listen, bro? I may go under the radar and get a couple of games in, but yeah, that definitely wasn't me at the weekend. It wasn't me there. But yeah, that caught me. And then you also like Sonny to Walker as well, like names of the past. It was a bit of a weird one. How do you feel our first season without him?
It feels weird. I mean, it felt weird. It felt absolutely weird. And then, like, having this player called Son on Burnley, but it's spelled a different way. S-O-N-N-E, I think it was. But it just felt weird, you know, that Sonny wasn't there. But look, he gave us everything and more. Blood, sweat and tears. Played with broken ribs at times. Do you know what I mean? Hands. He's given everything, bro. A guy that has been the first to score in a new stadium. He's one of those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got the records, he's got the accolades.
Who you can rely on, you know, and the dedication and the loyalty that he showed to us when he could have easily gone to Saudi or whatever, and he just shut down all of those speculations. And he wanted to play for Spurs. He wanted to win for Spurs. He wanted to create glory with Spurs before he done anything. And you know, saying goodbye to him was tough, man. Did you see that? Did you see the Newcastle game? Did you see his last game?
Yeah.
The pre-season?
Yeah.
Bro.
Hard. It's hard. It was a hard watch for him. Like, to watch him, not as hard watch to watch him, but hard watch to go. It's an end of an era.
Oh, man.
And, like, it's crazy because obviously it was in his home country. You've got players that you connect with, like Trippier being on the other side. It's just like, there were so many, like, little moments that you was like, wow, like, this is the end of his story. And I think you go forward into the league and you go, it's the first time in how many seasons that Son hasn't scored Tottenham's first goal. And you know Harry Kane was always a slow starter and Son had to kind of get going early. And it's such a changing of the guards. It really is a lot of new beginnings right now. And I think that what we as Spurs fans are going to realise in time that we had, and I'll say it with chest, we had one of the Premier League all-time greatest players at our club.
Without
a shadow of a doubt. And his record, his numbers will always put him in a conversation. And the thing that will always give him his bonus points is the man that he was. You can't speak ill of him. There's no one in football who can speak ill of him. And I think that's testament to him, his dad, his family, his upbringing, his loyalty, his ability on the pitch. All of that comes together, and all I can say is, from me, is thank him for everything that he did for our team. And at times we all felt like we wanted more from him, and I think that's because he had such a high ceiling. And whenever he wasn't at his best, we all felt it. The team, the fans, everybody. And I think now we will really take that time to go thank you and to really respect that this man there, Mr. Number 7, did an amazing job for us. And I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, no, I love Sonny to bits, bro. You know how much I love Ginola. Ginola's my all-time fave.
Yeah,
and I don't get players' names on the back of shirts.
No, he doesn't.
I'll have a variation of my name on the back of a shirt, but I don't get players' names because, you know, once they sell, it's that thing as a kid, bro. It's like once they get sold and then it's like
the kid's gone.
It's heartbreaking at times. Do you know what I mean? So after Ginola, Sonny was the only one that I could get on the shirt. But I love him to bits, man. It's just, is there any favourite moments for you before we crack on? But like, is there any favourite moments for you, bro? Like.
Yeah, okay. One that instantly comes to mind, because I didn't think about it, I didn't know it was coming, it caught me. My highlight was when Pep Guardiola said that we were Kane FC.
Yeah, Harry Kane team.
Yeah. And then Sonny scored. And it was the first time I heard the voice of Son.
Yeah.
And when he ran to the camera, it's like, do you know my name? Like the rage, the passion, the love he had. And it showed me, don't know what it did for anyone, but it showed me just how much Tottenham meant to him. Yeah. It's like, he watched that interview, he heard that the team was being referred to as a one-man team.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that one man. It's like, I'm going to show you who I am. And I loved him. And that, for me, that's the moment that instantly came to mind without thinking. Yours?
I mean, that's definitely one, bro. But like, so some of the goals, obviously the Burnley goal, the Chelsea goal, where he just ran through their team, and you know Tottenham ended up making him like Sonic the Hedgehog, around collecting rings. Yeah, hilarious. There's so many times, but you mentioned Man City. Even the game where Harry Kane wanted to go Man City, and it was the beginning of the season. And you know Harry Kane was he couldn't play.
Yeah. He had personal issues or something.
Yeah,
dealing with stuff.
But not only did Sonny sign a new deal, he said put it all on me, and he went in there. And again, my memory tells me because he scored so many, I could be, but he did score in that game as well. Yeah, you know. So there's just so many. But like you say, him being able to lift that trophy at the end. I think what a way to crown it off. What a way to go out.
What an ending.
What an ending. It's the stuff dreams are made of. It's the stuff films are made of. Do you know what I mean? And there will be a Sonny film. You know, guaranteed. Yeah. And that will be the ending. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Big boy movie. Yeah,
you know?
100%.
So again, like thank you is too small a word for all of the madness that Tottenham put you through.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Put fans through, but put Sonny through.
Yeah, him personally through. Yeah.
You know, when the boat was sinking, when we was in and out of managers, and when managers didn't want to come to us, he was the constant.
Yeah.
And thank you is too small a word, but you'll always be a legend, and love every single time, man. Sonny, you the man, bro. You the man.
And now we have a new captain.
Now we have a new captain,
We
Dan.
have a brand new captain.
Now you like Romero as a captain, yeah? Centre back. I know you like a centre back as a captain.
Yes, that's very true. For me, I've never been a fan of strikers or wingers being captains. I feel that it needs to be down the centre, the spine of the team needs to be your captain.
Yeah.
Ideally, centre back or centre mid, goalkeeper if it has to be, because you need to have an overview of the game and need to be involved in the game. When you're a striker, you're too cut out from the game, and when you're on a wing, you're too cut out from the game. Down the middle, that's where it needs to be. That's where it's been my take. And Romero, I think I said this on last word, is someone who I think putting the captain armband on him is quite an intelligent decision, because he's a hothead. He is someone who can lose his mind and play in a way that is detrimental to the team because of his passion.
We saw against Bayern.
Yeah.
Only just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he can have it. But I think you put the armband on him, and that responsibility can be calming for players. It can make them go, oh, okay, I can't do this because I'm wearing the armband. And I hope he can do that for Romero. Because don't get it twisted. When Romero, or what his camp was suggesting he wanted out, I was very much like, if he wants to go, go. Not saying I don't rate him as a defender, but I don't want you there if you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And now, with him having the armband and signing a new deal, it shows a lot of drive, it shows a lot of commitment, and it shows that he's going, I'm here to continue winning. Because as I said before, we're winners. We're winners.
And he's a born winner. Yeah.
And he's investing in this. This is a big comparison, and I know you may not all want to go there, but we just said names. It's like when Kane and everyone's leaving and Son signed.
Yeah.
It was marquee to go, I'm staying, what's everyone else doing?
Yeah.
With Frank being new, the new system, Romero going, I'll take the armband and I'm signing a new contract. It says a lot to the dressing room.
Massive.
When you've got a serial winner, a World Cup winner, a leader going, I want to be here, what are you saying? It runs right the way through the team, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy about it. You?
Yeah, no, I think fantastic decision, and like the way that you highlighted, I think it's going to be a really good thing for him. I think it connects him to the club, and I think that Sonny had a massive influence on
I believe so. Yeah.
And people want to question Sonny's captaincy. There is one thing about being on the field, and you know, as you all said,
there are different types.
but there are different types. You know, he's not only a leader by example on the field, but he's a person that can bring every single person in that dressing room together.
Handshake with everybody.
But there ain't no click with Sonny. Sonny can go and sit with the staff. He can go and sit with the defenders, the Portuguese, the Spanish. It doesn't. How many times has he been adopted? The Welsh mafia, the Brazilian mafia, like that. Everybody adopted him. He was in everybody's table, everybody's circle. There wasn't players that he missed out. He treated everybody with the same kindness, respect, and humility that he would treat anybody with. You know, higher up in the food chain or lower up in the food chain. He was that guy, and there's something about that to be able to bring a group together, especially in tough times, which Sonny done, right? So I think Romero's seen that. He was part of that leadership group as well, but so he's seen that, and I think even Sonny's influence on Romero when he joined the club, you know, somebody who wasn't speaking English at that stage as well. I think even that there's a connection there. You could see how they are. You can see how they interact and how much love and respect they've got for each other. So I think that it's going to be a mix. I think that he's had that influence from Sonny. He's seen how and what brings a group together. Sometimes, yes, shouting on the pitch is one thing. So you set the standard, which is important as a captain, to set the standard. We don't drop below this bar. This is where we are. We don't drop below this bar. If I'm not going to drop, no, not one of you bear even think about it. You know, there is that. Yeah. But then being able to bring everybody together. being able, I want to know what Romero done with Tell after the penalty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What did he say to him in the dressing room? Did he have his arm around him? Did he look at the online abuse and go, bro, they'll all be singing your name at the end of the season? Like, these are the moments where a captain stands up, and these are the moments that are really important for longevity of a captain as well.
Yeah.
Not just like, all right, cool, he's won everything going, but also as a person and what you bring and how you can understand other players and where they're at. Not just let your aggression be the speaker, but you also being able to have that balance. I think will be key, and I think that he's gonna rise to that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And him, like you say, him signing a new deal was perfect, because I think he's a perfect defender for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he's another Tottenham defender, very, very high class. People kind of speak about he's kind of yellow card and red card. It's not as bad as people make out. Yes, he's an aggressive defender, but there's been times where he's been on like the next yellow card of getting 5 games banned. He's gone 10 games straight without getting a yellow, and there might have been some challenges within those 10 games where he should have got a yellow, but he didn't. Do you know what I mean? So there are times where he can, taper his aggression and work out when he's going to go fully in and fully not.
I think that's the frustration that fans may have with Romero, is he's intelligent and he makes the choice.
Yeah.
And that can be frustrating when you watch a player with that much talent and ability, and you can lose your head and do something silly, and we go, why did you do that?
Yeah, he lets it out, and there's a point where he lets it out. Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm hoping that Armband will taper that down a bit. One thing on this show, me and you have spoke about, is we don't talk about players that are not ours.
No,
Or
but wait, hold it. Before we move on, real quick, Jed.
Oh no,
Jed.
get that.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to use that as my segue.
Apologies.
I was going to use it as a segue.
We'll cut it.
No, cut it.
It's fine.
Trust me.
All right.
Trust me.
But at least they know we ain't got.
Didn't trust me.
And we didn't rehearse.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Outrageous. One thing we don't do, and we won't do, is talk about players that aren't ours, talk about transfer speculation, and get ourselves caught up in that bubble, because we don't agree with it, we don't believe in it. We will celebrate and discuss players when they have signed and are holding the shirt.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said that then is because before we recorded this, there's lots of speculation happening, and that's why we're not even in it. We're not involved in it. However, what we are involved in is the second player that I want to highlight is Spence. Because the same day the Romero announcement happened, before that was Spence. And I remember at one point we were going to sell him for £7 million.
Yes.
And do you know what?
Yep, Genoa in Italy, yeah.
Didn't want to make that deal happen.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying to him? Thank you. Thank you so much for not taking that up. Because what a player we have on our hands. What a tremendous growth we've seen. And I think I can only say this is Spence doing it for himself, because he's been through ups and downs at Tottenham. He has been through ups and downs in his career. I know that there are times that he's not enjoyed being at Tottenham or enjoyed football, and he looks happy. Mm-hmm. He looks like he's enjoying his game. I will go on record right here on our pod to say he looks like there is no right or left winger that he fears in the world.
Not at all.
He trusts himself one-on-one with anybody, and I love that. Talk to me. What are you feeling?
No, do you know what? We just got to look at his journey again. When we bought him, he could have been we was crying out for a wing back because we was playing a back three. He was under Conte, and when he came in, he was deemed a club signing.
Yep.
And
Conte did not want him.
Conte didn't want him, and there was much criticism of our board and Levy for going out there and getting it because he broke the deal, didn't he?
Yeah. One thing I will highlight is Anthony Costa. You really wanted him. Really, really wanted him. Do you remember how you really, really wanted him, Costa? You really wanted him.
And Madison, So Jed was, deemed a club signing and didn't really get a look in when we needed a wing back. Yeah. We bring in Poro, and then we're loaning him out left, right, and centre. And even at Leeds, he went went and before we signed Archie Gray was playing in front of him, and the manager was like, yeah, he's not really. Yeah, he went on loan to Leeds. Yeah. And that was before we signed Archie Gray. But Archie Gray was playing right back at that point. And you know, wasn't getting in there. Got an injury, but wasn't getting in there at all. And was deemed to have an attitude and you know, not really showing up to training and all of these speculation.
Yeah, lots of stuff being said behind doors.
You know, then we sent him out to France where he, I can't remember who he played for, but I know that Doku was in the same team.
Yeah.
And
No,
it might have been. It was Ren. It was Ren.
Doesn't start with him. Yeah.
Do you know what it was? I was thinking of the badge. It was red and black.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he went there, and again, a couple of games, and then they brought. I think their right back actually got fit, and then didn't get a look in, and then he goes out to Genoa, and was fantastic. Now, as soon as we bought him, me personally, I could see why we was buying him. I was really excited. You know, he was on loan from Nottingham Forest. He was at Middlesbrough at the time, and he was flying, absolutely flying. And I was like, wow, this kid right here, he's like, he could be phenomenal. So I was really happy when we bought him, but he never got that look in. And when we was trying to get rid of him, bro, I was just like, are you for real? Like, and Genoa said that 7 mil was too much to pay for him.
Yeah, God bless him.
Thank goodness he came back, and thank goodness he found a manager in Ange who arguably has got the best out of him. Arguably spoke to him in a different way, and got him to put his nut down and kind of.
I will say,
on.
people will also rebuttal that and say Ange only played him because of injuries and etc. that happened. It was forced his hand. However, that's all in the past.
It's not even that. I hear that, and what I would say to that is that Ange. His main thing about players were character, and I think that when he came in at Coventry, he scored a goal and won us that game where we wasn't looking great in that game.
Not at all.
He scores that goal. Everyone's like, why ain't he playing the next game? Why ain't he playing the next game? And I think that part of Ange and the experience that Ange had was like, I need to test and see whether he's a team player or whether he's playing for Jed.
Potentially.
And I think that taking him out and almost giving him that push-pull, that carrot and stick, you know, into the point where he was playing and he had to play. And that's what we want from our players. When they do come in, grab your opportunity, grab your spot, you know what I mean? Put down a marker, show the manager, show the fans what you're about. Let us scream for you to come on. You know, let us be frustrated when you don't play. Yeah. And he found his feet under Ange, and you know, obviously went on to next year, last season, and into this season, strong, bro. Yeah. And you know, I think Udogie's got a fight on his hands to get that left back spot back.
I feel that what he does, he gives us option both ways. Because
he does, of course he does.
He can play left back, but you know he is a right back, and the fact that he is comfortable on both wings gives our squad a better look, because we don't have left back other option. I know we've got Davis still in the squad, but the way certain systems Davis can't work in, certain systems maybe having a Spence there may not work, but having the options, it's great for a manager to have options, and he gives options.
And quick question for you, I always think that I think he's looked better on the left than the right. What do you think?
My theory on that is when you play against wingers that want to play inside,
they want to cut in.
Yeah, because they're on their weaker foot. So the prime example of that is Saka playing as the right winger. Right. Saka's left-footed, so Saka's always going to be more comfortable going in. If you're a natural left-footed defender, when he cuts in, you're now on your weaker foot. But when you're Spence and he cuts in, you're on your stronger foot. So you're matching each other. You're in your strength zone. So when you send him inside, which you shouldn't do, you're up for the challenge because you're like, I can handle you there. But because Spence is so good either way, he doesn't mind the challenge. And I think that's why he's a player that kind of allows your manager to have those options, to go, which way do I play you? Which way do I go? Because he's so comfortable being put in those situations. Because some players aren't. Some people don't like to be put in those situations, but he's very comfortable there. So yeah, is he more of a left back? I think there'll be some games where he'll be more suited for the battle than Udogie would.
Okay.
Because Udogie, don't get me wrong, he's great left back.
I think he's going to be dynamite. And again, another young one, bro. Don't write him off.
This could be Italy's future left back. You know what I mean?
Don't write him off.
All I'm saying is, what Frank has is options for different systems. Playing a wing back, he may want to play sometimes Udogie because it's a natural balance. That natural, if you're playing for the early cross, Udoji gets it and whips it straight on his left. Spence wants to take a touch, maybe on a cut in. There's different styles of play that you have the different elements for. And it's good that we can have these conversations, go that Frank's going to have that with his team. Which one do I prefer? Which one works better for this? Just looking at 2 games of competitive football, 2 completely different lineups, systems, styles, personnel. He's going to do that this season. He's going to mix it up, and I'm excited for that. Yeah. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited. Go on.
So I was just going to say, no, it's good that I'm happy that he's. But when you're looking at the squad now, I know we don't talk about transfers. We're not going to talk about. We wait until they hold the shirt.
Not talk about them.
We've done this for too long, bro.
Yeah, we've been on this stuff way too long to do it.
We've put all our chips on a number and it hasn't come in.
PTSDs.
We don't even have to talk about Morgan's gigs.
Who?
Right. So we're not speaking about that. Just where do you think the holes are? Where do you think that we need to fill in right now at this moment where we've signed Tel, Takai, and Kudus,
and then obviously Paulinho on loan.
Paulinho on loan. My apologies. And then I don't know whether you want to include Danzo. Danzo was pretty much bought in January. It was already obligated, but that's where we're at right now. Where do you reckon the gaps are? Most important
for me, I would say we're 1 fullback short. For me,
still at this point,
I feel because I'm seeing Spence going either way, and then relying on Davies.
So just while we're here, what about Van der Ven going to that left back?
Now, my theory on that is because of how the systems are being played, I wouldn't want him to be out.
Nor would I.
And I don't feel that he's a left back. I feel that he is a centre back, either left side or centre half. And when we start pushing players out there, I only contemplate doing it if we're. I'm going to say it. It's going to hurt.
Go on, say it.
You know our neighbours, those teams.
I don't know. They're not there.
How you could use a Ben White, it's the same as use a Van der Ven.
Right.
Who is a natural centre half. So playing out there, they've got their defensive nature is stronger. So they're always going to be thinking of the defensive side of that position rather than the attacking side. Yeah. So it could, in certain games, be a benefit to have him over there. But I wouldn't want to rely on him as cover. Because that's what essentially it will be.
Yeah, that would be third choice, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I want it to be third. So what I would prefer to do is have another left back. Because then, remember, if you're shifting Van out there, what we put in Ben Davis there, who we put in there, and it just changes the system up. So I think we're short 1 fullback for me, and I feel that the uncertainty of left wing is still an issue for me. And also, if Richie's staying or going, are we bringing another striker? They're just the 3 places that I go, just someone give me some clarity. We've got a lot of players who can play on that left side, and Johnson's proved that the weekend he can do it. Is that what we're going for? Cool. I believe Tel can do it out on the left. Cool. But I just feel that we have, I know we talk about the squad, about where we're missing. I feel we also have this issue at Tottenham where we have players that we just can't get rid of. And I feel until we can get rid of these players, because they're still options if they're still on the books. But clearly they're not, because we don't want to play them. Like, there's so many that need to go, Brian Gill, and you go like, they're just there, and you go like, just collecting a wage, which we need to start getting better at getting them out to allow space for the extra player that we need, the squad player that we could need. Because we've got players that are in the squad that we're not going to use. You, where do you think?
No, I'm with you, but I'll definitely go in at number 10. I think if we get that number 10 and a left winger up there, I would take it.
Yeah.
I think Davies is reliable. Yeah. He always puts in the shift, and he always surprises me. Every time that myself or the fan base has written him off, he's just sprung alive again. I remember when he went to left centre back at Conte and Mourinho. Everybody loves him. Yeah, he is. He's got high IQ. Yeah. So I would go for the attacking areas at number 10, because Maddison is out for a long time, and even when Kulu comes back, he's gonna need. We can't put all of the bricks on his shoulder, bro. We've got to work him in. So I'd say those 2 there, left wing and a 10.
The only reason why I didn't address the 10.
It would have been a striker up until I saw Super Cup and Burnley. I saw the vision for Richarlison.
I hear you.
And you know, some would say give him an apology. I stand by
you're still right.
Everything that I said along the way, it was a critique.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, I've seen the vision in Richarlison. I've seen what he does and what he can bring to the table. And I'm.
You're willing to give him a chance?
Yes, sir.
Willing to give him a chance. The only reason why I didn't want to address the 10, because I can't find the 10. That's my issue. I can't find it. I know we've been numerous ones that I won't even talk about until they're wearing our shirt, but there seems to be complications with every deal. With every 10 that we're looking at, there seems to be a stumbling block. And Frank has shown in 2 games that he's got systems that can work. That I didn't feel a loss of a 10 against Burnley. I didn't feel a loss of a 10 against PSG. So if you can make a system work where there's still creativity and flair in a side, I can go with that. Of course, there's going to be games where we go, oh my God, we needed a 10 so bad. And I know that. But if we can avoid that as much as we can until someone like Kulichevsky's fit again, or experimenting with players in the squad who can do that, I would love to buy one, but I don't know which one.
I mean, you know, I've always got a list, but we won't do that
we
right
do this
now.
because we don't do speculation.
But I will ask you, as we're here, just before we're about to wrap up and stuff, we will jump onto Man City, but Dow, we've been doing this for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
Last Word on Spurs, Chris Callan, Spurs Chat podcast. You know, I don't know how many years. It's 7-8 years we've been doing this. So
long time.
So we've been speaking about Tottenham for a long time, and we know. By the way, just because I've said Last Word again, Jason McGovern, we're not doing transfers. All right,
Jace, we love you.
Jace, thank you for the comment, and we're not doing transfer speculation. All right, mate. All right, love you, bruv. He will love that. He will love that. Right, you got to send love out to Jace. But there's always like extreme ends of this Tottenham fan base now. You know, like as we've gone through, you know, Bayern, we were totally rubbish and we were going to get relegated. After Super Cup, we can win the league. Burnley, oh my gosh, we've changed formation. You know, all we need is
best
friends to slice
this
bread.
is the wonder kid.
Tell, you know,
Gray can suddenly now play a 6.
Yeah, well,
100 million now.
Well, Gray was 50-50. Like, I saw people going, he's finished, and I'm like.
Now he's a £100 million player again.
What do you think this is? Do you think this is just like Twitter? Do you think this is just socials? Do you think this is? What do you think this is?
My take on it is, and this is going to sound such a weird take with what we're doing. It's because there's such a world now that's been created where everyone's voice can be heard.
Yeah.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Social media. So every opinion now gets given more weight. Yeah. Before, these were opinions that were shared just amongst your friend group.
Yeah.
Now it's on social media, it's on a pod, it's out there, so everyone's hearing it. And sometimes it's hard to kind of hear your own voice, and sometimes it's hard to go, what do I agree and disagree with? And unfortunately with social media, the loudest voice seems to be the most negative voice. Yeah. And they seem to pick up the most traction and the most heat. Hence why we wanted to do this, to give a more of a positive spill and a positive spin. And balance, and try not to always be negative Nancy, and try and come also not to be happy clappy, just to try and hit it from a different standpoint, a little bit more neutral and a little bit more calm. And I think that's what is the word I'm going to use, is calm. We need to just be a little bit calmer and just take our time before we react. After a game, the emotions are high. After the cup game, the Super Cup, the emotions were high because we all wanted to win it. Sometimes you say stuff and you go, I wish I just took a second to think it through. And I think that's what social media doesn't have, that filter. People just say it and afterwards go, well, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But things land and they hurt people, and things land and they can affect people. And also, you may look back at your own tweets if people look back and go, did I say that? Yeah, you did. Oh, well, what I really thought was, yeah, too late. That's what you wrote. That's what you put out to the world. And I think we've got to try, we ain't got to, I would love us to, this season, to really think about how important this badge is to us and how important the players are to us, and go, let's not break them. Let's try and support them as much as we can. We are supporters, not fans. As you quite rightly highlight, it's a great thing to look at. We support this team
through the high, the low, and the middle.
Like our family, like our friends, we will always tell them when they're wrong, when they haven't done well, when they've let us down, they've disappointed us.
Absolutely.
But I'm not kicking you out because of the mistake. Yeah. I'm going to help you learn. I'm going to help you grow. And I'm also going to be there when you're doing great to tell you, well done. That's the beautiful thing about you. That's what we love, and I think it's all come very public, and that's what I think is a challenge for anybody in the game right now, because anything you do that isn't deemed as a good thing, or any performance you put in that is questionable, oh my gosh, you're getting it.
Well, I also think there's a thing out there when negative headlines, and this is throughout media as well as fans and Twitter and stuff like that, but negative headlines and outlandish opinions can get you paid. Do you know what I mean? It can get you noticed, and it can get you some money.
You become a poster boy or poster girl.
You know, so there's that element to it. But what I would also say is, like, if you say something, I've done this many a time. I will always go back on my own and just go, you know what, I was wrong in that moment.
You've done it today with Richie. You've done it. It's evident.
The one thing that football will always guarantee is that if you've got a hot take, a strong opinion, that in 3 to 6 months you're going to be wrong. Do you know what I mean? That hill will come for you. Harry Kane's a one-season wonder. Do you know? Sonny's never going to make it. You know. So there is always that. So there's always, I think, as a fan, if you live and breathe and you know, spend your whole day, you know, with Tottenham and your team, that it's okay to say one thing, but at least come back and go, you know what, I didn't really mean that.
100%.
Or just take responsibility for your own words. And just go, you know what, I didn't think of, actually, it's this. I was wrong here. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong.
Nothing wrong with being wrong.
It's a strength rather than a weakness. I've always felt.
Okay,
all right, we're nearly wrapping up now. Just quick prediction for Man City. Big game. They don't want to let us have Savinho right now.
No, they're holding him captive. Okay,
you know,
cool, fair play.
How you feeling? We've always got you know, the niggle over them.
I feel that it's going to be a good game to see, like the Super Cup was, to see where we're at.
Do you reckon same formation as Super Cup?
I think he may go something similar. I think we will press higher on them, and we won't create a high line to let them get behind us in terms of us on the chase. And it's going to be an interesting one because they've got a lot of new personnel, Man City. There's a lot of unknowns for us. And there's, again, another phenomenal squad put together by Pep Guardiola. And I feel that it's going to be a good... I think we're the test that they need. And I think it also works vice versa because Frank needs this now to go, who am I, where am I, what am I? So I've never predicted us to lose, and I'm never going to do that. But I think it's going to be a draw.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Score draw?
Score draw. I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
We'll do prediction properly on the day.
Yeah, on the day. It may change. But I'll say right now.
Right now.
But as I feed in my waters on the day.
We'll see. That's how.
That's when you get it.
Right. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be a great test. I think it's another opportunity to see what Frank brings to the table against a big side. Man City and Liverpool, man, they've bought players that I've wanted for a lot. You know, Reinders in midfield, bro. Oh my gosh, I wanted him. Cherky, I wanted him.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
He's not lying. He said all of these.
And you know, they're already looking good. But it's not about them, it's about us.
Yeah.
Okay? And the same way that we troubled PSG and we gave them something to think about, I think we're going to give these lots something to think about. I'm hoping to see another Thomas Frank master plan go in there, and I'm going to go a 2-1 win right now. But it could change on the day. But check out the Insta to talk on Tottenham because it could change on the day. But right now, 2-1, bro.
All right,
2-1.
Cool. And people, just before we wrap up, just want to say again, thank you for everyone supporting and watching the show. We are evolving it, we are growing it, we are changing the technical aspects and trying to get it as smooth and as clear and as crisp for you as possible. We are going to be getting on Spotify very soon. It may not be this episode, it may be the next one, but we are going to get that audio to you because I know a lot of people have asked for it. We're feeling the love, we really are. We appreciate you. Please like, please comment, subscribe.
Notification bell.
Yeah, put it on. Why? You know about the bell? Yeah?
Notification bell.
You know about the bell, yeah?
That means that when we drop they go ding-a-ling, and then it lets them know that the new episode is dropped.
You get ding-a-ling.
Ding-a-ling, bro.
Ding-a-ling.
I figured that out.